right, welcome back. Now, it's an inspiring journey into the life of one of South Africa's most iconic classical musicians, Matlhaela Michael Masote, who during the apartheid era founded the first black youth orchestra. That's the Soweto Theatre's latest production titled Masote's Dream, which opened on Thursday and runs until the 26th of July. Now, when Dutch director Dagmar Slagmolen met Michael Masote in April 2014, she was determined to tell his gripping life story. Slagmolen teamed up with Masote's son, Kutlwano, and the Dutch-based artistic company Orkater to create a vibrant production with 9 South African actors and musicians about one man, one dream, and the struggle against an absurd regime. Now, the iconic classical musician Michael Masote is here, and his son, of course, Kutlwano. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Levu.
Michael, take us back to that first meeting, Dagmar, when she approached you about writing or putting your life story into a production.
Actually, when Dagmar came, it was as a result of what they saw about my documentary, which was known as Monna wa Mmino, the unsung hero. Mm-hmm. And they felt not much justice was done about it. So Dagmar, with what's the guy's name again?
Ruel.
With Ruel, felt they should do a theatrical production that encompasses my life or my dream about classical music and youth orchestras. Yes.
Kutlwano, you approached to do the music on this. I imagine, you spent all your life with this man. You know him better than anybody else. Yeah. How easy was it to come up with the music for the production?
Actually, it was quite easy because one of the central themes in my father's life is Handel's Messiah. He did a translation of it into all the indigenous South African languages, originally in the early 1980s called Black Messiah, then added Afrikaans and English to have all official languages, all 11 of them, into the South African Messiah. So Dagmar decided that that was going to be one of the building blocks of the theatrical productions of this production. And so the Messiah was what we borrowed from to tell the story, because it's such a big theme in my father's life. So it was just really reworking it and letting it tell the story of his life.
Thursday was your opening night. What was your impression of it?
Oh, it was really overwhelming. Okay. Because I had thought maybe we were just from Grahamstown Arts Festival where it was sold out. And I felt now people in Soweto know me, they would just feel not necessarily know the guy, so why? But I was so stunned by the attendance, that it was so warming. The questions thereafter, after the show, everybody was excited to say, Mike, you've done a very good job. Yeah. We've been knowing you for so long. But this now attests to the fact that you have passion for music, yes.
Talk to us, paint a picture for us. What does this production look like? You've organized the music, but there's actors and musicians as well there.
Yeah, so it sits in that genre of musical theater. Okay. Dagmar has a very unique style of telling her stories. She works a lot in the Netherlands with classical musicians. She herself is a trained cellist, so she's a string player. So we've got a string quartet, all youngsters, that we auditioned last year. They played they played for us to show what they can do, and then Dagmar asked them at the end of each one's audition, can you sing something for me? And they were all like, no. And by the end, they're singing, so everybody sings, everybody acts. There's a string quartet, as I say. There's 3 professional singers, a percussionist who's also turned out to be a wonderful actor. So it's a cast, as you said earlier, of 9, very compact. Yeah. But they do everything. The props on stage, designed by a very award-winning Dutch artists, Sanne and Devika. I don't know their last names, but they've been brilliant. So it's all, if I can call it left field, very kind of far removed from what our audiences are used to here. Yeah. But at the same time, because of the accessibility of the story, it's the story of all of us in South Africa and in Africa. The music does most of the talking. Right. So it's really interesting the way that it comes together.
Well, one of the notes that I read from her was that, she the child is the central character of the show. Was that the sense that you got, that this child is in, their levels to this child growing up?
Yes. Perhaps the child is me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I grew in a musical family, and I was surrounded by sounds because we stayed next year to a school that had a church. There was a lot of singing in the church. There was a church choir there that was conducted by a Joseph Makema, and they were singing mostly songs from the Messiah. And my family also was involved with the Messiah from the Soweto Methodist Church choir. So I used to hear these sounds, and I could not even read music at that stage. Mm-hmm. But the influence of the singing at home, like as a young boy, but when you come back home much late, they're still singing under candlelight, reading music from the Messiah. So as a young boy, I absorbed all this. And when I grew, became a man now, or a high school boy, I joined the choir that was singing the Messiah, and they called that choir the Messiah Choir because it was done annually at the Johannesburg City Hall. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Kutlwano, for you, what stood out for you when you saw it on Thursday? The whole production is ready. Here it is on stage.
Look, as a professional musician, you always look for quality. So I think the quality of all the performances, the actors, the singers, the musicians, and we worked really hard. I was going to Bloemfontein intermittently because this is where the show was birthed with the help of PACOPS, Jeremy Fokeng, thank you very much. So we worked really hard training these youngsters to at least be able to perform, so that when the director, Dagmar, asked them to stand on their head, and she doesn't, but to do things that are outside of their comfort zone, that at least the music was set. So I can honestly say that from a performance point of view, music performance, it's great. The way the theatrics are put together, also really stunning, and people will be wowed.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for talking to us. Father and son, Kutlwano Michael Masote, speaking to us about the latest project. It's titled Masote's Dream, which opened at the Soweto Theatre on Thursday night and then runs until Sunday, the 26th of July. Let's take a break. Stay with us.